All right, it's episode. What is this? Episode 6 of the Rum Dum pod.
Episode 6.
Yeah, if only
we've made it this far, and it's a brand new world.
Cheers, camera. Cheers.
Cheers.
Here we go
to America.
There we
to
go.
America.
To 4 more years.
To America, baby.
Never seen it. If only something important happened recently that we could talk about.
Absolutely. I mean, well, let's talk about the election.
Oh, shit.
Let's talk about.
Hold on a second. I gotta get suited up. I gotta get suited up.
You ain't suited up yet, bro, for this? Well, you got your Modelo hat.
I gotta get suited up, Dar.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think I've worn this thing since I was like in high school, dude. I don't think I've worn this shit since like 2016.
Hell yeah, dude. Isn't that crazy how like when Trump was first inaugurated or running for president, you were still in high school? And now you're pretty much a man now, and it's like
I'm a grown up.
You come full circle.
My stuffed animals behind me.
I just noticed it.
I'm a grown up now. Oh, I have some notes. I have some notes here.
Okay.
I have some notes here. Okay, check this out. New conspiracy theory just dropped.
Oh man.
So right after the results of the election happened, Joe Biden came out and gave a speech.
Right.
And he sounded perfectly normal. Now, there wasn't a hint of dementia, bro. I think.
No, don't
he,
even.
No, bro.
No.
Bro,
no.
When he came out,
there were
not a hint.
Go ahead.
Not a hint of dementia, bro. I think he was an insider, bro.
No.
I think he was a secret agent for. Yeah, they're going to lunch. Someone asked him, "Do you think Donald Trump is a threat to America?" You know what he said? "We're going to lunch Wednesday." They're going to lunch together. The dementia is gone. Dude, I'm telling you, bro.
No. Okay, so the man has dementia. The man has issues. The man has cognitive issues. Always had. I mean, I say always has. But the past 4 years of his presidency, he's had dementia issues. Now, when he got pretty much a silent coup against him, okay? Yes. The DNC never held an election, and they just kicked Biden out. He resents them for that. He resents them. Also, one of the reasons why he's cozying up to Trump, because he wants to make sure because he knows he's liable for corruption in Ukraine. This was before the Ukraine war even fucking started. I don't know if you remember during Trump's presidency. Yep. All that weird shit was like quid pro quo stuff. Anyway, Trump was calling out Ukraine corruption back then. Let's not forget that. And having that said, he wants to make sure that his family is safe and Trump won't prosecute him. He wants to play ball. Okay.
You see, I don't know. You think
that's the conspiracy?
You think that's the angle?
Now, don't get me wrong. I think ever since they kicked Biden out, he has been on the Trump team. I'll say that. But he is not feigning dementia or anything like that. Absolutely.
I don't know, man.
No,
because
dude, he's had moments of clarity with drugs and stuff. He's had moments of clarity. And
he had a big moment of clarity when he gave that speech, dude. When he gave that speech right after.
Well, when you're about to go to jail, you go.
He's not gonna go. If he didn't throw,
not now.
If Trump didn't have the cojones to send Hillary Clinton to jail, he's not gonna do nothing to Joe Biden.
Well, times are changed, bro. Someone shot him in the head and he dodged a bullet.
I don't know if he's gonna go gloves off and actually send him. I don't think he's gonna do it, bro.
We'll see.
I don't think he's gonna do it.
We'll see, but he is going to get tough on the deep state, or he is going to get tough on the border and these criminals that have come over.
I'm hoping
that's what people voted for. He's never shied away of his agenda. So, if anything, and we've talked about this before, the optics of sending 20 million plus or net, somewhere around there, give or take a couple million. Of people that have come in this country illegally, sending them back home is going to be a logistical feat. Yeah. And the optics of that is going to be, of course, the criminals and the military-age men, no one gives a fuck about them, right? Let's be honest, no one gives a shit about men, right? No matter how you look at it, no matter what spectrum you're on or whatever. But
nobody
check this
likes
out.
Men. Everybody hates men.
But the women and the children that have come over here and they try to make a life of that, that's going to be a tough sell, an optical sell. And I've always been like, you have to tread lightly with that, even though they were pawns in the power game.
It's just not a good move to go full on like rounding people up. It's just not a good move. Now, I agree. If you're doing things where like someone gets caught committing some sort of crime, or something,
and you're rounding people up that are known to be murderers,
but to the vast majority of anybody, it's going to be an awful look and procedure if you start trying to find people and round them up.
And it might not be the right thing to do. Like, check this out. So, let's be pragmatic for a second. If Trump wants to bring back manufacturing jobs, look at all this big workforce you've got now. I'm just trying to look at it pragmatically here, like a businessman.
Well, I think that's also one of the big things what he's trying to do with the tariffs. Correct, is to stop people from manufacturing things outside of the country. That's the big plan with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's the right thing to do, and I have a prediction where I've been harping on this for at least a year now to you that we're going to see another 2008, probably Q1 next year.
You've been saying that,
and that'll be blamed on Trump and his tariffs.
Yeah.
Now, the funny thing is, the tariffs at that point won't really be implemented yet, or if they are implemented, they'll be so early. It's like, oh, look what they're going to blame that on him and the optics of the immigration stuff, like the families and stuff.
It's hard.
He's definitely going to.
It's hard to truly blame something on somebody when it happens like immediately after they take office. It takes years for these things to get set in motion.
I agree, but most people don't understand that. Most people that look at the economy don't understand that, but those are going to be the narratives against him. Yeah. And as long as you can navigate those, I think those are going to be the main ones. Yeah. I caught a little thing on Piers Morgan. He was saying he was talking to Destiny, and I don't know why.
Oh, I'm gonna stop you. Piers Morgan, Destiny. We don't need to even like.
Well, Piers Morgan has become a little bit more centralist, which I like. But he was grilling Destiny, which was great. I hate that piece of shit. And but Piers Morgan just made a comment saying, it's funny after the election, it's been kind of quiet. There's only been one protest. I think it happened last night or Friday night or something like that. There was a big protest in Manhattan, but it was a peaceful protest. There was no property damage or something like that. So that's everyone's got a right to protest. Mm-hmm. So, but anyway, but that was it. So. Yeah. It's been kind of quiet.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah.
So maybe George Soros.
I heard a lot of people being afraid. Oh, whichever way it's gonna go, there's gonna be violence, or
I agree.
Or certain people saying the election wasn't gonna get certified, and then she literally backed down like that night, or I guess early in the morning. She was like, "Yeah, well,
we won't know it's certified until January when they." Well,
but if they don't, but if the other person's already conceded, what good would not certifying it do?
You're right.
If the other person running's already conceded.
Vote. Yeah.
You won the popular vote, electoral vote, and the other candidates already conceded. So what good would not certifying do?
So, I was in that camp.
No president like we have right now.
Yeah.
We got no president. Basically.
Yeah. Like Biden, where's Biden?
He's having lunch with Trump and just eating ice cream.
He wants to make sure he don't go to jail. Him and his son don't want to go to jail. For smoking crack and cozying up.
I don't think they're at risk of going to jail for being for real. I don't think there's any risk of any of them going to jail.
When you're American royalty, it's
when you're at that level, no, it's not happening.
But hey, you know what? Maybe that'll kick the Civil War can down the road
a little bit, yeah.
Which is fine with me. And hey, this isn't like everything. Trump had that address that he made. I don't know, a couple days ago. And he was talking about his policies and what he wanted to do. And everything he laid out has been my teenage libertarian dream. It come true. Like, I was like, I guess, when you study politics and you're getting into like how government runs and stuff, like you have like, okay, if I ran the government or if I was in politics, this is how I want things to run. I would get rid of the IRS. Of course, these are all great platitudes. Right?
Yeah, it's like, is the IRS going to actually disappear?
It's the move in the right direction. Yeah. This is where the compass needs to go. Yeah. Getting rid of a bunch of bureaucratic bloat that we don't need in the government, which we're broke anyway. Yeah. The only reason why we're able to get away with the debt that we have is because we're the world reserve currency. Mm. When that status goes away, that blank check goes away. Now, BRICS is a challenge, but really BRICS has got its own problems because India and China and Russia. That's not an easy, wonderful trifecta. We get along with Europe way better than they get along with each other. Yeah. So it's a tough deal. It's not like it's going to happen tomorrow. But eventually, the hegemony of the dollar is definitely going to subside eventually. It's just a matter of when. And I think Bitcoin is the only contender for it.
Yeah, we'll see.
And gold. See, it'll be a
Yeah.
A plethora of different things.
Yeah.
A cornucopia.
Let's see, what else was he talking? He said he's gonna do concealed carry reciprocity across all 50 states. That would be good.
I didn't even hear that. There's so much he was talking about.
Look, I think there was some things he just dropped on what the fuck, Truth, or whatever his social media is, something like that. Where are you going?
I'm running away. No, I'm just.
Where are you going?
Fixing some things. Making some things right.
Let's see here. I think I wrote down some other notes. Yeah, did you hear what Bernie Sanders said about Democrats losing?
Yeah, he was honest.
Where you've abandoned the working people, so they've abandoned you.
There's a lot of Democrats that are trying to at least get the Democrats to be a little bit more central. Yeah. I've got no problem with in America, we should have a balancing discourse.
Yeah.
Where if there's one side, there's always at least two sides. I mean, of course, reality is more nuanced than just two sides. But if we can get back to that, make sure we, Well,
it's not necessarily he's saying that they should be more centrist. He's saying that they should actually be caring about things that the average person cares about, not identity politics, stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
Like if you have one guy saying, hey, I'm not going to tax overtime and tips and shit, and you're talking about like keeping the borders open.
Yeah, making sure little Johnny can get his balls cut off.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Yeah, because he doesn't know what gender he is. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like the average person doesn't really care about that. You know what I'm saying? That's not the top on their priority list.
And they tried to make the average person care about it with DEI, and look how wonderful that went for those corporations that adopted that. Yeah, thanks, Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban.
Rachel Maddow's lookalike. Have you seen those memes?
No, it's
where he's wearing the same glasses where Mark Cuban's starting to look like Rachel Maddow. Yes.
I didn't see that. That's so funny. Oh, this is so wonderful, man. But at the same time, it's so exciting to see even a politician who has the highest office in the land say these kind of things. Yeah. Even that is just a huge, mind fucking, explosion. It's just unbelievable. It's wonderful. It's a new American Renaissance.
And also, we now have two presidents that won 2 non-consecutive terms. Trump is the first person to do it since, what's his name? Andrew Garfield? He's the first one to do it since Garfield, yeah.
I want to do some research on that because I found out that because I knew that was rare when he lost.
It's only ever happened once. It's only ever happened once, and it was Garfield.
That is wild, man. And I'm hoping that maybe we get another, after these 4 years, we'll get another 8 years of either Vance or somebody. I think Vance is probably the contender, but I like Vance. Yeah, I didn't know him until he was picked vice president, but he's a great talker, great speaker.
And so I wonder if Trump picked him to actually try to keep him, because when he first ran, Vance said Trump was Hitler. He was one of those Republicans, right? So I guess he came around, man.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's why he picked
drinking
him,
the juice,
keep him in line. I don't know.
He was well. No, yeah,
perhaps.
But you're doing well when you've taken people that have called you Hitler and been your enemy, and you've turned them into your friend. They've realized.
Well, maybe it's also because a lot of people saw, he didn't do the Hitler stuff when he was in there for 4 years.
Exactly. Come on, give me a break. And dude, it seems like the leaders of the world that are bad actors or any actors are already they're calling Trump up. He's not even president yet.
Well, yeah, Hamas said they wanted an immediate ceasefire, right?
And so is the Houthis as well.
Yep, and then
in Yemen.
Who else was it? Did Putin say anything about it yet? Or am I getting that mixed up?
I'm sure he talked to him. He's like, I don't know. Everybody wants. It's kind of funny. I know it's strange, but everybody wants a strong America. I don't know what it is.
Well, not everybody.
It feels that way.
Not everybody.
I mean, met China or whatever. But I'm just saying, it's just. Well, maybe I shouldn't look. Maybe that's not the perspective. The perspective is America's strong. America's back. We're the old man with the big stick. We might not wield it as wieldly as we used to, but guess what? We still got it for now. So let's go. let's make this right.
Let me see if I have any more notes here.
It's amazing. We're on the edge of history right now, and it feels wonderful time to be alive.
Yeah,
I wish we all could be here right now. I had a friend of mine who passed away recently.
Yeah, he told me that.
And this is for you, Charlie. Love you, man.
Was Charlie a Trumper?
I don't know. Because I'm more than like he wasn't, but he was a non-Republican back in the Obama days. That was still when, Republicans were, the imperialist party. War on drugs, war on terror, and all that fun stuff. That's when I didn't want anything to do with politics because it was like, whatever. It was a nerd. Like if you were talking about politics, you were just a total nerd. Like it didn't matter. But until all it took was the left saying, hey, male and female don't exist, and the border, like if you want a border, you're a racist. And it was like, what? Like, something you took for granted.
I think that's what finally made Rogan pop over, Joe Rogan. He was finally like, all right.
Well, see, it takes a while for these, I guess, old school, I shouldn't say Democrats, but like centralist people, anti-war people, to realize that the Republican Party has totally changed. It's been infiltrated. I say infiltrated, but it's been totally changed, the populist movement. And that's wonderful. It's been totally changed, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah, because that was kind of I was a little bit in kayfabe when I was talking about Joe Biden being a secret agent for Trump, but like
he is now.
he is now. I guess so.
Absolutely, because he knows he's been wronged.
Yeah.
Trump knows he's been wronged. Trump has said publicly, "Look what he did to this man," and he even said publicly, he was like, he's like, Biden doesn't like Kamala. He don't like her. And he wasn't. Dude, Trump is off the cuff. He's not gonna. He's gonna tell you how it is. Yeah. Nuggets of truth. You get to see behind the curtain. Trump has never revealed what has been behind the curtain. Of American politics.
Shit. Yeah, because a lot of people saw when they literally stole the nomination from Bernie, who's a Democrat, who's been there's black and white pictures of him saying the same shit that he's been saying now. They literally stole it from him. So it's like, well, from then they're just screwed.
Yeah,
that was it.
And I don't like Bernie, but at least whatever he believes in it, and he's honest.
Yeah,
he's not like Hillary Clinton, a mass murderer. The fucking Haitian Foundation that she takes 95% profits.
Yeah.
What
that
a
was
joke,
kind of the death nail where they took like an actually legit guy and replaced him with the Crypt Keeper. It's just like that.
The Crypt Keeper. Yeah. So anyway, yeah, man. So that's the short version of it, and I'm just I'm so amazing to be alive. And I want to say this: if we have people out there listening to this and might be afraid, and it was fun. The salt mining has been fun for a while, watching all the leftists lose their minds and scream and cry and all this kind of stuff. But these people really believe that a tyrant has come into power.
Yeah.
Because they've been told this for 4 years. They've been told this for the past couple months. And I feel sorry for them. And it's up to us to really be like, look, gang, you don't have to like Trump. And it's actually okay to have a contrary discourse because that's what America's about.
Yeah.
But, he's not Hitler. You've been lied to.
Yeah.
The past he is not, he's a moderate, if anything. You know what I mean? Like you have been, even if you think abortion, like you're just like there's going to be a federal abortion ban. Just look at Roe v. Wade. Now he got rid of the, he gave it back to the abortion rights to the states rather than the federal government.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's a two-handed sword. Like he got rid of, abortion rights federally, but that also means he's not going to make a federal law banning abortion either. So that's you have to take it as it is. You can't just freak out.
I gotta ask you a question though. What did you mean by a two-handed sword? Like just a really big sword?
Two-sided sword.
Okay.
Two-sided sword. Sorry. Hey,
we got another Darism, man. We got another Darism.
Thank you. Yeah, no. Well, no, I just been drinking. Two-sided sword. Oh, shit. Double-edged sword.
Double-edged sword. Yeah.
And it's also a two-handed sword.
It's a big sword. It can be two-handed. That's a big sword.
Whenever I wield my sword, I got to use two hands. So,
That seems to be, that's probably why he got shot, is because each side does that now, where if the other person wins, that's the end of the world. Because like my entire life, we have the same father, so you know what I'm talking about. When I was like 8 years old, I was convinced that the country was over because Obama got elected.
When I was young, he was saying that. I remember when Clinton was running. It's like, it's over. Clinton's here. Like, it was over. You know, it was over back then during Clinton. Yeah. So the world has always been over, but it seems like it's been growing to a fever pitch.
Yeah. But it's like, okay. I will, so every election I've been alive for, old man, you said this is it. This is the last one.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, yeah.
You know, but the boy that cried wolf, eventually he's right.
Maybe.
Broken clock is right twice a day. So, but having that said, dude, like I think that, and also we have never seen the polarization of politics. Maybe before the Civil War, you know, I'm sure it goes in the cycle.
Well, there was a Civil War 200 years. There was an actual Civil War 200 years ago. So it
I'm just saying in modern times, I've never seen politics as polarized is the right word, and each side is galvanized against the other.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just so the media likes to, and it's great for media and it's great for ad revenue if the media comes out and gives you like it gives you in a state of fight or flight.
Yeah.
And it tells you you're going to die soon or you're going to be put in jail soon.
Yep.
And then that means you're afraid and scared and you want to watch the news every day to see what's going to happen. So you're going to watch the commercials. So it's great. Great for views.
Advertising. That's a several edged sword. That's a damn 50-edged sword, dude. Advertising. Because one thing, it's like if you think about pharmaceutical advertisements on TV, everybody makes fun of them because, like, oh, who's going to want to take this medication? It says your balls are going to fall off. You're going to want to end your life, you know, all this stuff. Yeah. Then you look at it and it's like, well, that's so that the mainstream media is in their pocket because nobody's watching it, but they spend billions of dollars on it. So they own them.
That's right.
It's not because you're going to talk to your doctor and take what your doctor tells you. You're not going to go, oh, hey, doc, I saw an ad on TV. It said I should take blah, blah, blah. Can I get, like, no, you're going to do what your doctor tells you.
Yeah, the doctor's going to give it to him because he gets a kickback.
Yeah. Well, that too. But it's to own the media. It's not to convince you.
He's a drug dealer, man.
Whatever.
Doctors are drug dealers, man.
I mean, yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, but I almost said JFK. RFK. He's going to put, I mean, dude, he's got the dream team. Trump has got the dream team. We can go on and on, man. We should. Well,
I got other things on the dock. I got my,
what's going on with
you? I got my notes here. I got other things on the dock. Let me check here.
All right.
Show notes here.
A two-handed sword.
Ew. Let's see here. Oh, so are you here? All right. We're moving into the regular segment of let me put my regular hat back on.
Oh, really? All right. Yo Modelo. Go back to being an alcoholic. Hold my beer.
All right. For anybody that didn't want to hear about politics, just skip to the part where I'm wearing the regular hat. Just wearing a Modelo hat.
Okay.
There you go.
That's a good visual cue.
There you go. It's like spoiler warnings, trigger warnings. Anybody who's triggered, you can just skip to the black hat. There you go. Okay.
Try to get these arms. Oh, shit.
Yeah. Let's see here. Okay. So are you aware of what is it called? The paradox of the ship of Theseus paradox?
I've remembered it. Can you briefly?
Okay, so basically there's this ship that was owned by Theseus, and he dies. So his crew wants to take care of the ship. So, you know, the anchor breaks, so they replace the anchor. And then one of the floorboards
it's in a different ship or is it the same ship?
So they replace part by part by part, and they throw the old parts over into the beach, replace each part. So eventually each part is replaced. Some other guy picks up all the old pieces and puts it together. So which one is the original ship? And it's kind of well, that's the, you know, whatever. And it always used to get me, like the paradox.
Yeah. Okay.
I saw this video on TikTok, this goofy TikTok video, where a guy buys like a shitty like kid's beach shovel, And he says, I'm going to upgrade this. And he takes off the plastic shovel, puts like a real metal shovel, uses it, immediately snaps the stick. He goes, I guess I'll upgrade the stick. Takes off the stick, puts a real shovel grip on it. And it's like, oh, well, it's obviously just a completely different thing. Like, what are we doing here?
You know where from this mental exercise, you know where the magic is?
Where?
The magic is whoever creates the thing denotes the thing. So if that person who's grabbed that shovel said it's the same shovel and other people believe it, then it is the same shovel. It has to do with identification and consensus. That's the magic. No, I'm just saying.
Well, just because a bunch of people have a consensus on something doesn't mean it's accurate.
That's true. But what I'm saying is if I decided to, let's say Theseus ship. I decided to replace everything and make a new ship. But then all of a sudden I dedicate it to Theseus and I call it Theseus ship. Because it was made the same way. And it's up to the person to make their decision. But since I denoted as such, it's the thing, all the mental exercise is about is an exercise in belief, identification, and consensus.
I guess.
That's what I derive.
Well, it's just I don't know. In my view, it's just that's the original pieces.
But you're part of the consensus. Thing. That's your decision. And if other people, if all of a sudden I was the one, if I was the one who made it, and I said this is Theseus ship, original Theseus ship, that's where I am the logos of where that debate starts. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
You might not agree with it, but it still becomes the logos. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and that's just the point I'm trying to make. I'm not trying to say yes or no. I'm just trying to say it depends on who says and who asks. What is belief.
Matter of perspective.
You know. So that's how I.
Okay.
About it. Yeah.
What do we think about Dear Santa, the Jack Black movie? Have you seen the ad for this? Have you seen the ad for it?
No, I didn't. Oh, I thought there's another movie coming out with
Red One,
The Rock. Yeah.
Well, this is going to lead into another topic I wanted to touch on for the holiday season. But first, let's talk about this. So there's a movie coming out called Dear Santa, where from the trailer of the movie, kids will write letters and say, Dear Santa, and throw it in the mailbox. Okay,
I do it every year.
So this kid writes a letter to Santa. But I guess he's got dyslexia or something, and he writes Dear Satan. And he throws it into the mailbox, and it arrives in hell. And the devil is Jack Black. And so he comes to this kid and says, That's funny. You wrote me a letter. I'm here. And he's like, you're not what I expected. So he does some magic, and now he looks like Santa, except with little horns. And now he's trying to corrupt the child, but nobody believes him. That the devil's trying to corrupt him.
Interesting. I don't know how that's going to go over with the right wing, especially with this anti-Hollywood, anti-woke kind of thing. Even though I think it's a funny concept.
Yeah.
I know Jack Black.
But it's odd for a kids movie.
Huh?
It's odd for a kids movie. I'll say that.
It's odd, but you got to remember all these kids movies that I saw. Like, remember Labyrinth?
Yeah.
With David Bowie, his balls hanging out. He was in love with a underage girl. I was watching that shit. All the weird shit. So we're just now realizing Hollywood is like we've always accepted it, but now we're like, wait a second, what the fuck?
Hold up, Yeah. So I don't know. It could be, but I think that's definitely going to be contentious. Having a buddy,
especially these days, where people are just they have their defenses up.
Yeah.
So.
Then also, big problem. I don't know how you feel, but both of us are into movies, maybe more than your average, just like popcorn viewer, right? You've been trying to write books and shit,
Yeah.
So we're more into the craft of storytelling than a lot of people.
Right.
Okay. Not to toot our own horns, but we're nerds like that. So my big problem with Santa Claus movies is that there are movies where Santa Claus exists, correct? Right. But everybody who has witnessed Santa Claus is viewed as a crazy person. How is this possible? Right. Part of Santa's character is that he teleports or drives with a spaceship, depending on the different incarnation of the legend. He gets around the planet to every household and delivers presents. So for at least a few decades, maybe even a couple 100 years, every house with children in it has had presents magically appeared that nobody in the household bought, and yet nobody believes in Santa Claus. How could that be possible in a world where Santa Claus is real?
It's a movie.
Okay.
Well, because Santa Claus is good, bro. He's just that good, bro.
I don't know. He's that good?
It's that suspend belief. Whenever you watch a movie, you have to suspend belief to some extent. So you're already accepting.
I have no problem suspending my disbelief that there's a magical fat man who can deliver presents across the world. But in this world, if he's real, everybody would be aware of it. If Santa Claus is real, everybody in the world would be aware of it.
Not necessarily.
How so? I think I know where you're going. How so would not everybody be aware of it?
The movie has to denote that reality for you. It has to give you something. If you need that from a movie, that movie has to show you it, either indirectly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So if you want to have a movie where nobody believes in Santa Claus, you have to show me the neuralizer. How is he disguising this?
Or you have to show that.
Is he drugging the parents? Or you have to show that
like he's super fast or he's invisible.
But the presents are there.
Some kind of secret.
That's the thing. Sure, fine. He can make himself invisible, but the presents are there. The presents that the parents didn't buy are there.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So,
that's the
okay, he's invisible, whatever.
Because the parents will always assume it was some nice rich person that just drove by and dropped them off.
And broke into their house and put the presents in the house?
Absolutely.
No, bro.
I know. I'd be freaking out. Well,
what you were saying about like suspension of disbelief, yes, but the rules have to be consistent. So if Santa is real, everybody would know Santa was real because of the presents.
Then here's the thing: most movies, no matter most mythological pathology, if you will,
yes,
usually cannot stand up to strenuous critical thinking.
Well, the thing is, it doesn't have to stand up to critical thinking because you can just use it's fiction. So you can just say, yeah, he has magic or space technology. Yeah. I don't have a problem with there being a magical creature in your movie, but people would know about it. Kind of like Bigfoot. If you have a Bigfoot movie, there's going to be a big population of people who have seen this creature. Correct? Or like stuff like, like people would know about it, especially in this case, because hell, even with Bigfoot movies, okay, maybe there's like 100 of them in existence. They're about to go extinct. Nobody's seen them. But Santa Claus, he's breaking into billions of people's homes.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I dig it.
What do you think? You just think it's a dumb pet peeve I have with Santa Claus movies?
No, I have pet peeves too when it comes to weird things like with movies like that, because usually it's like I said, usually it has to go with logical thinking. Like if you sit down and break down a movie, no matter what, but even like the sci-fi movies and stuff, there's always, like, it goes back to what I was trying to say before. You're always suspending belief when you're entering a movie, and you are redirecting your critical thinking. And you're accepting the movie, the reality that's been presented to you, and you just focus on what the movie wants you to focus on.
But in my opinion, suspension of disbelief is different from the game breaking its own rules. So I can watch a movie like Harry Potter. I can suspend my disbelief that magic exists.
By default, a fantasy breaks rules because it's a fantasy, not a reality.
Hold on a second.
So it's already
the distinction I'm trying to make is, how do I explain this? Okay, so I can suspend my disbelief that magic is real and a magical story. But if a guy tells another guy, hey, the key is in the box, and then the guy is like, what? There's no key in, like, he just forgets. Like, well, okay, in the movie you've shown me a character express information to another character, but now you just forgot because it's convenient. So suspension of disbelief, it could ruin a movie.
If it's that bad, it could ruin a
consistency.
Movie.
Yeah. So
it could ruin a movie.
Yeah.
So
and also, I think I'm using the Santa thing as just kind of an example, not specifically that, but I think the movies would be better if they followed their own rules, not just goofy Christmas movies, but if you follow the rules, your movie is better.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because, there's science fiction movies that that's why some people don't like science fiction movies, because it's too fantastical for people. They can't resonate with it. Like some people don't like fantasy movies. They don't get it. They don't do the dragons and the magic. They just don't see it. They can't get into it. And that's why. Yeah. That's just, but it's a person's taste. It's their thing. People that are into fantasy and sci-fi, they have a higher threshold of suspension of, suspending of disbelief. So it's just your taste. But you're right. The more literal critical thinker that you can be, sometimes you can ruin this movie for yourself because I've done that. Or or there's movies that I love we've talked about this before. Like I'll give an example in a second, but there's movies that I love. There's a scene that just irks you and you're like, God damn it. And it's like, okay, the first Alien. Okay. So one scene, and it's the end scene where she gets into the escape vessel and she's about to leave and the alien follows her in. So they're literally in a room not bigger than maybe a big size living room. Okay. Maybe like 500 square feet or something. Yeah. We'll just give it and the alien, she sees the alien on the other side of the room and this room is open. There's nowhere to hide. And the alien sees her and for whatever reason doesn't attack her and lets her get into a spacesuit.
So hold on, pause on that thought. 'Cause that's something I want to bring up. That is the distinction between what I was saying between suspension of disbelief and not following the rules you have set up. Yeah, I can suspend my disbelief that aliens that bleed acid are real, but you're just breaking rules where all of a sudden this thing can't see 5 feet. That's the distinction.
Breaking the rules, right?
You're breaking the rules. Yeah. That's not within the realm of suspension of disbelief. You're breaking the rules that you've set out. Right.
Well, you can't believe it anymore because you've broken the rules or whatever reality has been set in front of you.
Yeah.
You were along this path of this storyteller that was creating this reality for you, and all of a sudden, because you believed the rules, you were in the game, you were following along.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, the rules have been broken. You're like, oh shit! What I've been told is a lot. It snaps you out of it.
Yeah.
And I totally agree, and that's important for storytelling. You could say the most craziest bullshit you want. You just got to be consistent with your bullshit. You just got,
but you can't break the rules. Yeah.
Yeah. You got to be consistent with the bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, using the term bullshit's a little weird, but yeah, I mean that when you're making a fictional fantasy work, you have to follow your own rules or establish that the rules have changed because of whatever magical MacGuffin that pops up.
I dig. No, I'm right there with you, man.
Let's see here. Did you gather anything up for the show? Because I have more things on my document, but have you put together?
Well, yeah, let's. There's a couple things on my mind I want to talk about, vent about, and I've talked to you about this before. A little bit about. I know people are done talking about Concord, the game that failed, and everyone's like, yeah, fuck that game, da da da. But I'm the only one that's heartbroken, not because I'm pro DEI and shit like that. It's because I like the gameplay. I thought it was fun. Of course, the characters looked like garbage. But if you told me, like, if I never saw the game and I never played the game, if you told me that ex-Bungie developers are making a hero shooter and it's sci-fi, and I'd be like, let's fucking go, because I love, like, it's still to this day, and I'm constantly playing first-person shooters, multiplayer first-person shooters.
Yeah.
And I still love the Halo style, Destiny style movement, gunplay. I still think it's the best. Or one of the best. And I don't know, like I played the game and I liked the game. It didn't have the balancing. It needs some balancing issues, It had balancing issues, but I just don't like to see, even though like a game, I mean, I know it's like I guess I'm not heartbroken because like a multi-billion-dollar company lost money or whatever.
Yeah.
But you think about the developers. You think about people who tried to make that game right, you know what I mean, and were just following what they were told to do, and I wanted to see. I never thought the game would flop. Like, I mean, it didn't even flop. It got destroyed.
Yeah,
and that company is destroyed.
I mean, people are just tired of the Marvel feel octuple A budget bullshit products coming out. People are just getting tired of it.
I think it was a perfect storm for that game. It was a perfect storm in the bad direction.
A similar timing. Let's look at what came out. So, what was it called? Concord came out. Flopped.
Yeah.
Failed. But little tiny indie games are fucking blowing up. Like, have you heard of the game Mouthwashing?
No.
It was this little indie story game, like an existential horror game where you're space truckers. You're a group of space truckers.
Oh, I love the space truckers.
And you get stranded. Your ship breaks down, and you think you're gonna die because you only have so much food. And then you open up the cargo hold to see if there's anything to survive off. And it's mouthwash. It's thousands and thousands of gallons of mouthwash. And now you're stuck floating through space and you're going to die. Tiny little indie horror game with like PS1 looking graphics, and it's all over the place. People are talking about it. It's doing great. And then you have a giant big budget game, flop.
Nothing.
Same thing with that horror movie that came out, Terrifier. The other clown movie that was a DC movie, several $1 million production, failed. Yeah. It had Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix in it. Built off the most
Joker too.
Popular DC character, except Batman, probably the Joker, and it failed. And then a unrated horror movie about a clown that rips people apart did well over $50 million on a $2 million budget. $2 million budget. And it's a tiny, schlocky, gore fest horror movie.
We need to make
it's not even rated. It's not even rated. It's the highest grossing non-rated movie of all time, and it beat a fucking comic book movie because people are tired of this, bullshit.
Yeah.
10A budget movies. Yeah, they're tired of it.
The formula is just getting. It's a clone of a clone of a clone.
They want to see wild indie shit, both in gaming and in movies.
And new IPs. The only other stuff that somewhat valuable that comes out of Hollywood now are IPs from the 80s. That they're it's safe because they've been grandfathered in, so they could do anti-woke. I say they're not anti-woke, but like non-woke stuff.
Yeah,
IPs because it's grandfathered in because it's been done in the 80s, so it's okay. That's the only thing they got, and then people are tired of that too. I mean, they'll watch it, and it's like Ghostbusters just comes to mind. Like that didn't flop, but it did okay.
Yeah, dude, indie stuff is back, bro.
That's good.
Indie stuff is back.
It's a revival of the culture.
Yeah,
it's a revival. It's a revival of the culture.
It's great. We see little tiny indie games getting more coverage among the people that really matter, the internet people, and then tiny non-rated horror movies, well surpassing comic book movies. It's a good time to be alive. It's a new beginning.
Yeah, it's a good time to be. Hell yeah, it feels great, man. But when things are this good and it feels this good, it always feels like, man, what the fuck is gonna happen, dude? Like, everyone's looking around like, okay,
it's due.
Don't be fucking ruining this party, man.
We're due.
We got this shit. Yeah, that's right. We are due, bro.
Yeah, shit.
The world is due.
I
just want to rant about that. Because I wanted to play the game. I liked Concord. I like playing the game itself was kind of cool, but
that didn't.
Oh well.
Did you have anything on your docket, or did you want me to keep peeling through mine?
I'm trying to rip one off your dock, and I'll come up with something.
Okay. Let's see. I have like a whole list here. Okay, this is something I had my own thing to say about it, but I guess I wanted to open it up for both of us. Has anybody ever tried to scam you before? Have you ever had any do you have a good story about a time?
Scammed. I think I told you about it.
Tell us the story
recently.
I think I know what you're talking about, but for the people at home,
right? So I had purchased some stuff through Amazon, or actually, it was actually not even through Amazon. It was tell you exactly what company it is, so maybe we'll get sponsored. The Classic Teas. Okay.
Oh, True Classic.
True Classic. Yeah, I was going to get some of that, and I had made a mistake, and I had I left out my house number for the house, for the address. I'm just being stupid, and so they just decided to give my money back. They couldn't figure it out. I was like, oh, okay, and I didn't realize what had happened. During that time, I got a text message saying, hey, we got your package here, USPS. Just go to this website, and it was United States Postal Service, and it was like, we have your package. So it made sense because it was so the company had emailed me, something went wrong, we're going to try to make it right, and they didn't give me my money back, and so it was in limbo at that point. They didn't know what they were like. They said they were going to resend it, and I was like, oh, okay. But then the next thing I know, I get a text message saying, "Oh, post office USPS has your package." I'm like, usually this is bullshit, but since I'm in this limbo, like maybe I'll click it. So I clicked it via text message, and I get this website that looks exactly like United States Postal Service.
Yeah,
I mean, dude, and all they wanted was, oh, you just have to pay 10 cents. You just use your credit card, and that like red flags went up like crazy.
Red flag.
I mean,
red flag.
This site looked, dude, it had the logo, the little eagle logo on it. dude, you would not know the difference, bro. And I was like, man, this feels weird. I was like, this is what I'll do. They had a number on there. They had like just bullshit number. And I was like, I'm going to take this number. I'm going to go down physically and give it to them and see where they can sue.
Yeah.
I gave them the number and they said, no, you were scammed.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
So that was just like, I mean, even me who know, like a big paranoid conspiracy guy who knows better.
Yeah.
It was just the timing was perfect.
Sometimes they get you. Yeah. Cause that's what they do is they send out 1 million of them. Some guy is going to whatever the criteria is. Or like they'll send out 1 million emails that say Natalie from accounting. Somebody's expecting an email from Natalie from accounting.
Yeah.
You know, somebody.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And I
Somebody
narrowly
let the house number
missed that.
off, yeah.
I narrowly missed that shit. I'm so glad I just was like, no, this is bullshit. And I was like, but it could be. So let me just do this in person.
Yeah.
That was another reason why it's good to do shit in person. Like,
well, that's a good move, whether or not it's actually in person. But if you get like a text from your bank or some streaming service you use, if they say, "Oh, your payment failed" or whatever,
tax revenue, because they'll never text you.
Call the actual person or go to your actual bank in person, or at least call them or go to the app for your bank or whatever. Go straight to them. Don't respond to the link that got texted to you.
Wow.
There you go. But I wanted to bring that up because internet scams I get all the time, those emails that say, you know, whatever. But someone tried to in-person scam me back when I worked at the gas station.
Whoa.
I was like picking up trash or whatever the fuck I was doing at the gas station. And some nice like Cadillac SUV pulls up and it's some French guy. Some French guy is like,
you can't believe these motherfuckers.
I'm trying to do a French as a French, like, like that. I am manager from Amazon. You know, he said he was a manager from Amazon. Amazon. I make no money in my country. You know? But they gave me these headphones. And he had like 2 pristine packs of like whatever the new version of AirPods.
He was hot selling.
Yeah. So he asked me, so I was like, oh shit, I'm getting scammed.
He's not scamming you. He's not scamming you. He's just selling. He's
scamming me. Well, hold on. Let me continue. Okay. So at first I think, okay, I'm being scammed. So I was about to walk off.
Yeah.
But he said, look, I'll just give this to you. And I was like, how's it a scam if he's just going to... And, you know, I'm working at a gas station, so I'm bored as fuck. I'm like, all right, what do you got? Like, let's do this. Like, you know, what do you got, man? He's like, okay, so I'll give you these headphones. I was like, okay, thanks, man. And I was going to just take it and walk off.
You got to suck these French balls.
You got to suck my baguette. Suck my baguette. Anyway, he's like, okay, I'll give this to you, but you got to buy this one, and I'll give you one free.
Oh, fuck off.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, how much? And he said, well, tell me how much money you have, and we can work something out. So So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, these are either stolen or they're knockoffs. He got it at a discount. So he wants me to pay close to retail. So that way, if it cost him $20 for both sets of fakes, I would give him like $80 to $100 and it would be worth it. He would drive off. I said, look, man, I got $10 in my pocket. You want to make this happen or not? And he fucking loses it. He starts fucking cussing me out. What the fuck? I come to you. I come to you man to man. I need help because I need this money to bring home to my family. And you say you have $10.
Oh,
what
the fuck?
He started going off.
I hate these people. I hate those people, man.
It was so funny. Because keep in mind, he's sitting in a nicer car than I have in the parking lot of this gas station.
He's full of shit, man.
And this guy's full of shit. Me out, dude. That I was like, all right, I don't want to cause a scene at work. All right, so I'm like, all right, dude,
too late.
Too late. He drove off. It's so funny, bro. But yeah, and then so I actually so I found out about another scam on the internet. I made sure to tell Dad about it immediately because he's always falling for internet scams.
What do you mean that little ultimate unlimited
the power saved box? Not power saver box, power saved box.
Power saved box.
Yeah, it's not even good English. Yeah. But anyway, another scam that like he was out, I think he bought 2, so he was out $40 and he mental gymnastics himself into thinking it was saving him money. So, you know, whatever. Nobody was hurt. But I saw a video about this scam where, so if you, you know, a cat litter box, right? The box where it takes the shit in.
Yeah.
They make robotic ones that automatically clean it. Some like send you weight information on your cat to monitor, all that kind of shit. So apparently one of these like Alibaba type knockoff places started making knockoff robot cat litter boxes. Okay. But so the real ones have like good sensors and they're like designed to be all safe and this and that. But the knockoffs are just a hard plastic shell with a grate and then another shell on the inside. They would just turn. So cats would peek their head in, set it off, and it would work like a guillotine and cut the cat's fucking head off.
Oh my God.
People were finding their cats walking into the cat's room and their head is just cut off in the litter box. I was like, nightmare. Yo, Dad, I'm warning you of this now because yo ass would buy this shit. Yeah. So,
your own cat decapitator.
I know, dude. It's rough.
Oh my God.
I was like, because that's something that I like. Because the other stuff he's bought, like, he's out a little bit of money. He bought some cheap knockoff shit, but that shit would have been like rough. Because I remember when his last cat died, he wouldn't even watch me and Sarah bury it. He couldn't even like be in the backyard with us. That's how rough. Oh my God. He couldn't. So I can imagine him walking into the room and seeing his cat sensitive. Minus the head. Like, I couldn't imagine. Like, yeah. So So there's some scams out there, dude.
Wow.
All right. Your next. Wow. What's next?
Well, a couple things. I'm excited for. There's a couple games. Well, I guess this is not going to be a while, but Marathon. There's the lead director of Marathon game. Mm-hmm. He's a gentleman that was lead director for Valorant, mm-hmm. and has moved to Marathon. And there's been so many rumors and so many. Bungie's been going through so much development hell with Marathon. Yeah. So he just came out and kind of like, it was good that he came out with a small little announcement saying, this is what we're doing with the game. We're still working on the game. So people are like, they have more faith in the development of the game. Yeah. And sorry, I'm looking at the market right now. And it was a good thing. And it looks like the game's not going to come out till 26. It's going to be a while. But Arc Raiders, which is another extraction shooter, they just had their play test late October, and it went well. So I'm hoping quarter one. Yeah. I really want to get into a good extraction shooter, but there's something about Hunt Showdown is the only one that contender for me. Yeah. That it looks like a fun game, but I don't like the swamp aesthetic. I don't really like the.
You don't like you're not into Western stuff.
Yeah, 1800, early 1900. I don't know.
Not a Western guy.
That doesn't mean the game isn't. A lot of people love the game, and I don't know. Maybe I'm just not. I don't resonate with it so much.
I'm actually super into that aesthetic. It's just that I cannot put myself through getting into an online game with how shitty my internet is. Where sometimes, like the past few days, it's just been going in and out. It's just so bad. So I'm just like, Nope, not yet. Maybe I'll buy a Starlink or something. Then I'll start getting into online games again. Yeah. Give me a Starlink. But another game got delayed. Borderlands 4. It was supposed to come out next year. Really? But GTA 6 is coming out next year. So
isn't that's going to be huge?
That's going to be. I was listening to this YouTuber I watched called Morning After Kill. He was talking about it. He said, is Borderlands 4, after that shitty movie that just came out, really going to compete with probably the biggest video game release of all time? Yeah. And that's most likely not an exaggeration. GTA 6 will probably be the biggest gaming release there has ever been.
Wow.
For at least a while.
You're right. Yeah. You're right. Wow. Yeah, that's because, just think about it. Let's think about Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is just pretty much a GTA in the future. It's pretty much what it is.
Kinda, yeah.
Give or take. It's more RPG elements and stuff like that, but it definitely has that feel. You're in a car, you drive around the city, you do missions, you're a gangster,
Yeah.
But yeah, this game is going to be. Yeah, I'm not really a big GTA guy. I've never really been, but I know the game is huge.
Yeah, the only one I've ever played all the way through was 5. And I think GTA 5 is actually as big as it is because the online, which I never really got into.
Yeah.
But I think the way they do satire is really good because they're less so with Red Dead, but GTA is very satirical. I mean, Red Dead is as well. Like I was playing the first one on my YouTube channel, and like you start in like a train ride, and literally every person is saying the most cancelable shit about like taking over the savages and shit. Just what. And in GTA, it's no different. It's very and they make fun of like the different government agencies and their tie-ins to crime, and the radio stations are all super satirical.
Good
so
writing.
I'm a big fan.
Good,
Very good,
writing.
funny writing. Just making fun of the world. So yeah, I'm hyped because I really liked 5. Didn't get into online, but really liked the campaign. So yeah, I want to play 6. Yeah, and apparently it's going to be next level.
Yeah,
because like in 5, like you could trade in the stock market and shit like that. Like like it was that level of crazy. So I can't imagine in 6 how it's going to be.
I mean, have you seen any? Like, when's it supposed to come out?
Next year. Next year, I can't remember. I think it's supposed to be in like the middle of next year. I think that's what the rumors are. So yeah, sometime next year, and that's why they push back Borderlands 4 to the next year because they're like,
probably a good idea.
We don't want that
smoke. A lot of big games. Marathon's probably doing that too.
Yeah. They don't want the smoke.
Well, they're in development hell. They got some time for development.
And also just the media space. Like every YouTuber is going to be making videos on that, not your game. Because this is such a hyped, anticipated release. It's going to be hard to compete.
You made a great point that it is something that has never, I guess in the past, I mean, it's always been popular and always been important, but I guess, maybe we could say the past, at least, maybe more, but 4 years, maybe probably more, probably the last decade. I don't know. That the streamer / YouTube content creator is so important for building a community around your game.
Yeah.
That's why content creators can start making money or endorsements, or what's the word I'm looking for? Is endorsement the right word? Or
I mean endorsement, but yeah, I know what you're talking about. Endorsement.
Just add
ad
promote
sponsorship.
Sponsorship. Thank you. Yeah. So and it's so important, especially for a multiplayer game. You want to like the finals has been out for almost a year. They're finally getting the balance right. It's a game I play all the time. I love the finals. Yeah. I love the developers and stuff. They're really great people. And but they're and actually they've actually doubled their average player base since their last season, which is great because they started off. Of course, every game's going to start off with a bunch of players. It's gone down to like
unless it's Concord.
Yeah, you never start at all. But most games they'll start off with a bunch of players. You'll peak out your first month. They went all the way from like 200,000 players to like 16,000. And then it stays at a solid 16,000 for like 6 months, 7 months, 8 months, something like that. And then just recently, their average players doubled to like 32, and it's staying there. Yeah. So I mean, it's just kind of so a lot of people think, and that's the thing about AAA games. You have all these investors that just want to see that bottom line return, and they dump it. It's like a pump and dump, a pump and dump stock. Games are pumped, like AAA games have made gaming industry a pump and dump.
Yeah,
and it's terrible. You know what I mean? But developers who know that if they foster a game correctly, build especially multiplayer games, not necessarily single player games, but multiplayer games. You could look at Overwatch, even though it's not my favorite game, but Overwatch 1, Overwatch 2, that game is still doing decently and still making revenue. That game's been around for what? 8 years, 10 years? I don't know. Long time. Yeah. But it's and then look at Valorant. I was like, okay, Valorant is probably one of the most popular multiplayer shooters right now. Okay. And other than Call of Duty Black Ops right now. Call of Duty Black Ops now, people are going goo for gaga over that shit. Which you thought you would think that it would be that genre would be dead, but
those yearly games, they do it, man. So I play WWE 2K. They come out every year. Damn, NBA gets a game every year. Madden gets a game every year. Call of Duty gets a game every year. So they know what they're doing.
Yeah. They turn them out, you know, and people will buy them. But I, you know, so but Valorant came out in, I looked at the other day, I think 2016, 2018, I don't know, something like that. It's been out, but it's taken Valorant that long to be at the top. It takes a while if you want to break into the multiplayer first person shooter competitive game or gaming scene. It takes you a while to you can grip it. Like when you first come out, you're going to get a lot of players playing, but you're going to keep them staying. No, there's an ebb and flow.
Because if you can't keep them staying, you don't have a game because you need other players to play a multiplayer game.
Yeah, and that was one of the problems with Concord. They had that $40 paywall.
Yeah, and every other game in the genre is usually free. So
now I think that extraction shooters can get it. Like extraction shooters are different for me. You should have a paywall because the hacker element is so real. That's what happened to Cycle Frontier. I don't know if you remember Cycle Frontier. It was an extraction shooter, sci-fi extraction shooter. Came out on Steam. I think it was out for a year, and they had to shut down the servers because they had such a bad hacking problem. It was so bad they couldn't handle it. Yeah. And people liked the game. People had fun with it, and it had a lot of good mechanics in it. It had a lot of good, like you had your home base, you can upgrade. You know, you had this space where you go to different vendors. They give you quests and stuff to get. It was a good game. It's just so many people were hacking. Yeah. And it was no game anymore, and they had to shut down the servers, and it's sad, you know, like because it was a decent game, but yeah. So that's why I think extraction shooters need to have a paywall. I mean, or Tarkov does it, and they're successful.
How much does Tarkov cost?
I think it's $40.
Yeah, it's just I can never get myself to.
I can't do it either.
It's just too much.
I might, man.
Where you load the magazine, you can order the bullets. Like you have your magazine, and you place each bullet in the magazine. It's like, I'm gonna have 3 armor-piercing rounds, and then the rest are gonna be hollow point. Like this is too much, man. God damn, dude.
Yeah,
it's too much.
It's a little much. Yeah, it's a little much. But anyway,
I'm more of kind of the old school gaming idea where I just want to go to the gaming store. I just pay for a game. I have the game and it functions. Is that too much to ask for? I don't need you to come out with a new thing every week, every month. I don't need a new big thing. I just want to buy my game and there it is. I don't have to wait.
Yeah, well, those are
this game just came out, but it kind of doesn't fucking work at all. But try it again in 6 months.
Like all the early access stuff,
No, I'm talking about Cyberpunk. Full release didn't work on a lot of consoles. I'm talking about that. Well, it's not to pick on Cyberpunk, but like a lot of shit. A lot of games do
please
that now.
pick on Cyberpunk. You know what's funny? Check this out. So Cyberpunk didn't fail, but Concord did. Now, there's a lot of reasons, but I find it interesting because Cyberpunk didn't fucking work. Concord worked. Concord worked, but Cyberpunk didn't even fucking work.
Yep.
Like, explain that, isn't that amazing?
I figure, let's take a look. So Cyberpunk is a single player game. So it doesn't matter how many people are playing it. So if you have a multiplayer game that's not doing good, you might say, fuck it, we need to pull the plug. Because you have to pay for the servers. So if nobody's on it, it's not worth it to try to fix it over, what did it take, like 6 months to a year to fix Cyberpunk? Because like you have to pay the maintenance of the servers. Cyberpunk, it's just a game that sits on your hard drive. Yeah. So they can just kind of fix it as they want. It doesn't matter how big the base is. So if they fix it and people come back into the game, well, they already bought it. So, that's probably what it is. Because again, Concord was probably going to be a game as a service where they're going to have like battle passes and shit, But
they had a whole... Yeah, they had a whole trilogy lined up for that game. That was supposed to be movies. It was supposed to be this thing, man. They had this whole world.
Damn.
That's pretty rough.
That's tough, man.
Oh, well. I'm hoping those devs that made that gameplay continue to make another game. Like maybe... Not that studio, the woke DEI shit, but just the people who made the gameplay go and make a game. Because, like, think of all the code they still have. Yeah. They can take that shit and just apply it to different graphics and aesthetics. You know what I mean? And just, I don't know, Because I just want to see.
I think it's over. I think this is cope you're inhaling here. I think you're inhaling.
No. Just a whole new game. You know, what I want is a good Bungie style shooter that's not Destiny and it's not Halo. Because I played the shit out of those. You know what I mean? And like Destiny multiplayer has got its quips that I'm just like, the shotguns are fucking crazy in that game. The ultimates are stupid in that game. Other than that, I love the game. But I love what Concord did. They had that, like, every character had a dodge, had a roll. I love that. Just make everyone have a roll, like just staple. Like, so there's certain concepts in the game I really like.
Yeah.
But you got the higher ups that want to push, push DEI. So people push back on that.
Yeah.
So,
for sure.
Yeah.
What?
Gladiator 2.
Man, I don't give a damn about Gladiator 2. What the fuck,
bro?
Dude?
I wasn't excited for it until I started hearing good hype about it. People watched it. People loved it. Kind of like how
always trust the hype, don't you? You always trust the hype.
People,
man.
No, critics have seen the movie. It's been pre-screened and it's got good reviews to it. Just like Alien Romulus, which was a great movie.
Yeah,
we've talked about that before, but I was kind of like, a second Gladiator, really? But this has a different connotation involved. Like, this is the fall of Rome, right here. That's a lot. Like, the Civil War and the fall of Rome is like, big thing right now. So, and Ridley Scott's directing it, so it can't be that bad. Like, I don't know. I'm hyped for it. There's no other movies that I don't even like. I didn't even see Beetlejuice. I was kind of like, eh.
Yeah, I didn't see it either.
I've
seen the first one.
I saw this movie. I saw this new movie called the oh god, what is it called? Conclave, about how the Cardinals elect the new pope.
Oh, okay.
It was pretty good.
Was it?
It was pretty good. Not a total showstopper, but it was like it felt like a mystery suspense kind of thing.
Okay.
It was neat. It was pretty good. I like the directing. I like how it wasn't, even though I'm not Catholic, I was glad to see that the movie is not like slanted anti-Catholic or anything. It's just, it actually shows just the Cardinals being people, and they're guilty of the same sins we all are, pride and jealousy and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, they've come together for what's right for the church, what they believe is right for the church and the world. And it's a good story, and it's a good mystery. It's cool. Yeah.
Okay, man. So, I think we've covered what we set out to cover for this one, man.
Damn.
Unless you have any close, I mean, we're at an hour 15. I think we're good.
Yeah, hour 15. Holy shit.
Yeah, unless you had any closing remarks or anything like that.
Brand new world, baby.
Yep.
And it feels so good to be alive right now, man. Crypto's banging.
Is it?
I mean, it's going to be a hell of a show, man.
Yeah.
Get ready, world.
We'll see what happens.
Get ready, world.
We'll see what happens.
It's going to be a crazy ride.
All right, gang. Until next time, sign us out.
Deuces.
Bye.
Deuces.